Now I'm gonna create a group. I'm gonna delete this one that's we're not using, and we're gonna create from the selecting all objects in the layer, which is our shadow group, our shadow rig. I'm gonna control deselect the null. We don't want that one. So we only have, we can see it in our schematic, all the children, all the nodes we created, including the pelvis. And I'm gonna create with Ctrl G what we call envelope group. And this is what we're gonna use to actually envelope our character or apply the deformation operators. One neat thing is, if we select all objects or select members, press Alt 8, we get the XSI Explorer. I'm going to lock it, and you can see, just leave it like that. You can see our character when we envelope it really easily. So now I'm going to re-select the mesh, reapply the layer of the mesh, make it selectable. I can hide the rig right now. I'm gonna do a really fast weighting. You can probably spend some more time waiting. I'm gonna do it really fast, so follow with me. Selectable, and we're gonna do the following. I'm gonna save it first. Skeleton rig is gonna be called shadow rig. Envelope, set envelope. Yes, it's an animation operator. I'm gonna middle click envelope group. Bam. Press W. You can see it's color coded. But right now, if we modify, if we come here and move, I'm going to turn off the shadow rig. If we come here and move, see how it's deforming? So it's not what we wanted at all. Gee. You can spend some time doing it. I'm going to do it really fast so you can see and understand. One way to easily do it is the following. Remember, we have our shadow rig here selected. I'm going to turn off the rig and the shadow rig. I'm going to turn off nulls in this window so we can see it like this. So, one easy way to do it is just select and tag a group of points and go to Grow Selection, which is just Shift plus in the keyboard, and we're going to assign those two bones to these two bones over here. So we go to Envelope, reassign locally to these two bones. Do the same with the foot, something like this. Envelope, like that. Pelvis, tag. Envelope, pelvis, the other leg, like that. And we're going to still have to modify this a little bit, but at least we're going to get faster results. So like we could have this would be assigned to this one, this one, here. Hand. Envelope to this one. Like that. Envelope to this one. Like that. All this is envelope to this. And so I'm going to select all the controller objects, including the hands, and I'm going to create a new layer from selection called controls. And I'm just going to make sure the head is enveloped to the head bone. Let's see. Like that. Like that. And let's show the shallow rig. Envelope reassign locally to the head. And the spine. Reassign locally to the neck and the first bone in the spine, like that. Let's see. There you go. So now we can hide the shallow rig, hide the rig, and just have a layer with our controls and animate to our convenience. So I would remove selectability in other layers, select all objects in layer, and set neutral pose. So right now it's easy to animate, pose. Well, you have to spend some time waiting, but pose it the way you want it. Let's reset the pose. We didn't set the pose for this one, but we'll just set it here. Okay. So we went through creating a rig. Well, basically building the skeletons, creating a rig, and applying the rig and enveloping your character. Didn't save the post for that one. Anyway, the whole idea is so you can get creative in the way you create your own rigs. Why did we decide to use the shadow rig? Well, we can always come back here. Since this is constrained, we can remove the constraint. We can change the rig structure and position constraint again, and our envelopes won't be affected. Also, when you export for a game engine, what you want to envelope is the least amount of clutter in your scene, so you just envelope the null hierarchy with the envelope weights. Even though they're represented as boxes, remember they're nulls. So let's take it one step further and see what other tools Softimage has for us. One last thing I would recommend doing is creating what you call a model. Go to model, create model, that would contain everything in our scene: the rig, the shadow rig, skeleton, envelope. And this is where you can export models, you can import models, you can have its own, this model can have its own mixer, like animation mixer. So this would be called skeleton. And that way you can even, if you go to file, export model, you can export this model, you can share it, you can store it, you can do whatever you want with this. Scale it even, rotate, translate, and everything. All the proportions will be according to the character.